Bonjour Year 8, welcome to Lesson 10 with Mrs. Turner. Over the course of the next series of lessons, you're going to be studying the present tense, the past tense, and the future tenses, and using them all together eventually. So, présent is obviously present, passé is past, and futur is future. Before you start today's lesson, make sure you've got all the equipment you need. And for this lesson, you will need the exercise book that the school gave you, a pen and a ruler, your knowledge organiser for Module 6, and this is attached on class charts, and also wordreference.com to look up any new vocabulary that you are unfamiliar with. So pause to get that ready now. Press play to go on. Make sure you email me if you have any questions about the activities in today's lesson, and here's my email address. I also want to see that you're maintaining really good accurate notes as well as completing tasks that show your own use of the language you've been learning in class with Mrs. Turner. So when you see the camera icon, take a photo of the task ready to submit it to class charts. Copiez la date jeudi 25 juin et le titre. D'habitude on va en Espagne. Usually we go to Spain. And underline those neatly in your book. Then copy out the objective, l'objectif, which is to use the present tense verbs and time phrases. Pause to do that now and press play to go to the do now. And here's your do now. It should only take about 5 minutes. It's a quick match-up exercise. So you're going to write down the French time phrases on the left-hand side, number 1 to 5. And then next to each of them, you're going to write the correct English that matches it. Make sure both languages are written in your book. Pause to do that now. Okay, here are the answers. Généralement is generally. What you'll find in French is that where you've got an ment at the end, that is the same ment as an ly in English. Okay, here we've got double ly. So généralement, the mot is generally. Now this is a cognate. It looks really, really similar. Normalement. We've got the mot at the end, so that is normally. Again, you've got your ly here. D'habitude. Now this looks like the word habit, and if you do something by habit, it's what you usually do. You do it habitually, you do it usually. 4. De temps en temps, from time to time. And 5. Des fois is sometimes. So you may have seen quelquefois as well. They mean the same thing. Des fois, quelquefois, both mean sometimes. Pause if you need to. Check that you wrote down your two accents on généralement. Well done, Year 8. I'm now going to pass you on to Mrs. Turner to teach the rest of your lesson. Please make sure you take a photo of your work and upload the copy to class charts so I can give you well-deserved achievement points. Merci, au revoir.
Activité 1. Listen to my grammar explanation and read the information on screen. The present tense. Put your pens down. You don't need to be writing. You just need to listen at this stage. We use the present tense to talk about what is happening now. For example, I'm reading a book. I'm creating a lesson. What usually happens, I read a book every day. Or just general facts, such as reading a book is fun. You can see from these examples that in the present tense, in English, we have two different forms. I am reading, that's happening right now, and I read, this usually happens. Luckily, in French, there is only one form of the present tense for us to learn, formation. How do we make the present tense? Well, first of all, you need to find the infinitive of a verb. This will always end in er, ir, or re. For example, regarder, to watch. You can see that there's an er verb ending there, showing that it's the infinitive, and it means to watch. Your next step is to chop off the infinitive ending. So you're going to chop off that er, and all you'll be left with is regarde, which is the stem of the verb, the bit with the meaning. Keep that stem and add an ending according to who is doing the verb. So it can be said that the stem contains the meaning, the action, and the ending is the bit that shows us who is doing the action. Let's see that now all together. So regular ER verbs would go like this. Je regarde, tu regardes, il regarde. Nous regardons, vous regardez, il regarde. Your endings E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, ENT. You may also have noticed that je, tu, il, and the il plural form all sound exactly the same. Those endings are silent. Copy the information into your book. When you've done it, take a photo to show me on class charts. Pause the video now. Activité 2. Follow the first of the links provided in class charts. Complete the on-screen activities to practice conjugation of present tense ER verbs. Pause the video now. Activité 3. I hope that you enjoyed completing the on-screen activities and that you found it helpful to be able to click Vérifie to check your answers each time. Now that you've had that practice, I would like you to conjugate the following present tense regular ER verbs into French. Write the person and the verb into your book. For example, I play. The infinitive is manger. If you want to conjugate it into the I form, you need to write je mange with the E ending that you just wrote down in your grammar notes. How did I get there? Manger is the infinitive to eat. I chop off the infinitive ending, which leaves me just with the stem, mange. I add an E because I am doing the action, which leaves me in the end with je mange. Over to you for questions 2 to 10. Take note that for number 10, I want you to use on, meaning we, in an informal sense. Take 10 minutes, pause the video now. Here come the answers. Mark your work carefully. Do not scribble out what you've written and change it. Do not rub anything out and change it. If you've made a mistake, please just put a line through the mistake and write the correct answer very clearly in another colour. 2. He watches. Il regarde. 3. Elle trouve. 4. Nous aimons. 5. Ils écoutent. Notice the silent ENT. 6. Nous restons. 7. Tu habites. 8. Il porte. Silent ENT. 9. Je joue. 10. On parle. Mark your work out of 10. If you need some time to do corrections, please pause the video and don't forget to take a photo of your work ready to submit on class charts. Activité 4. Put your pens down again, please, and listen to me explaining the rest of today's grammar point on the present tense. Irregular verbs. We're going to look very carefully today at 2 irregular verbs in French. The first of which is aller, to go. Je vais, tu vas, il va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont. Another very important and frequently used irregular verb is the verb faire, to do. Je fais, tu fais, il fait, nous faisons, vous faisiez, ils font. You may notice some similarities between the 2 verbs shown on screen. Je vais, je fais. There's hardly any difference, just the V and the F sounds. Notice also that in the verb faire, this S in the middle sounds like a Z. Faisons, faisait. Copy this information neatly into your book. Take a photo ready to submit on class charts. Activité 5. Follow the second link provided in class charts. Complete the on-screen activities to practice conjugation of the irregular verbs. Pause the video now. Activité 6. Follow the third link provided in class charts to practice the verb aller. Complete all the on-screen questions 1 to 10 and press Vérifie to check your answers. Pause the video now. Activité 7. Follow the next link provided in class charts. This time you'll be practicing the verb faire, to do. Pause the video now. Activité 8. Follow the last of your links in class charts. Complete the on-screen questions 1 to 10 to practice conjugation of the verb faire. Press Vérifie to check your answers when you're done. Pause the video now. Activité 9. Now that you've had all that on-screen practice with the 2 irregular verbs aller and faire, hopefully you'll be ready to tackle a task where they're all mixed in together. Write the person and the verb into your book. For example, un, I go is je vais. Over to you for questions 2 to 10. Take note that in number 10, I've asked you to use en, the informal version of we. Pause the video now. Let's go through the answers. Number 1 was done for you. 2. Il va. 3. Elle fait. 4. Nous allons. 5. Il ou elle font. 6. Nous faisons. 7. Tu vas. 8. Ils vont. 9. Je fais. 10. On va. Mark your work out of 10. Take a photo to show me how you did.
Bon travail, Year 8. Please email me any questions about the activities in today's lesson, and here's my email address. And most importantly, please remember to submit your work onto class charts within 2 days after the lesson so I can give you a very well-deserved achievement point. Merci, au revoir.